Yo, what's going on YouTube family? It's your man Jeremy Doodoo here, and in this video I want to talk about why I love being a designer so much. I'm really surprised that one of my most popular videos on my channel right now is a video where I talk about reasons that you might not want to become a UX designer. And I know if that's your first impression of me, you might be like, well, why would I want to be a UX designer then? You might be thinking to yourself, then this dude must hate his job. And I'm sorry for putting that energy out into the world, but the reality of why I made that video is because at the time I saw so many videos on YouTube where UX designers graduated from boot camps and then they became designers, and they made it sound so easy, right? Without really acknowledging some of the negative aspects of being a designer. And I just wanted to keep it real because I didn't see that kind of content on YouTube. So in this video, I want to highlight some of the positives, right? There's yin and yang with everything in life, and I want to show you guys the positive sides of what I found in my own life that might resonate with you when you're making your decision to become a designer. Oftentimes, when you look at a UX designer's portfolio site or you talk to them, you might hear something like, I love to create delightful user experiences, or, I love to create intuitive experiences that make sense to folks. I love those things too, but design, it runs in my veins. Like this, this ish runs so deep. If I could have made it to the NBA, I will be putting in the same amount of passion and work ethic that I put into design. Like, I'm putting that same, I didn't make it to the league, but I'm putting that same effort into being a designer, right? Because when I got into design, the reason I love it so much is because I see how it could contribute to my larger life purpose. And that purpose is to help people of color thrive economically, thrive spiritually. And the reason I wanted to do that is because when I was growing up, in South Central LA, I saw how my father struggled financially. And when he struggled financially, it ate away at his soul. And eventually that led to a mental illness. And I saw that this was a common story with many of my friends' fathers, where they couldn't provide financially and then they felt like they couldn't be there as fathers, right? They felt like they had to exile themselves from fatherhood, right? This is a common story in the black community, where you hear about people growing up without their fathers. And so I wanted to change that narrative, or help change it, by becoming a hiring manager in tech, where I could eventually help bring people who look like me into the industry, and if they could get on their feet financially to help their families' lives, or eventually build the confidence to create their own businesses, then that would make my soul happy, right? Not only would it put money in my pocket, but it would make my soul happy. That feels like my life purpose, right? So that was the main reason, and it still is the main reason why I work in tech, because I want to change that narrative, right? And there's all this work around diversity happening, so, God will pave a way at some point, and I've been able to help a lot of folks beyond people of color. Second reason I love design so much is because I can be a student every day. Back in the day when I was starting, I was learning how to code, I was learning how to prototype, I was learning about design principles, right? And usually I'm the dude who wants to be in the back, just in the cut, right? Like, I want to be the coder, I want to be the guy who's doing the code. Or I want to be prototyping. I just want to be in my zone when I do something, and usually that's on the computer. And as of late, I'm moving up in my career, right? And it's more important to become a presenter. It's more important to be able to communicate on a company-wide level to different stakeholders who are executives, right? And your presentation skills are very important. And it's always been a challenge for me to be a presenter, so much that I got involved with a program called Toastmasters, right? Where I was giving on-the-spot presentations. One of the best teachers, one of the best choices that I ever made as far as being a designer, where I've learned, is going to therapy with my wife. That has helped me so much with my design career, which leads me to my third point, right? Which is the challenge of waking up as a designer and being a reflection of God, right? And what I mean by that is that when you become a reflection of God, it makes your job easier. And I see how becoming a better human being can lead to you becoming a better designer, right? And let me just break it down like this, right? So there's usually this course of emotions that you feel or that I've experienced when I've worked on different projects. So in the beginning, there's this sense of anxiety, and then that leads to confusion, and then that leads to frustration, and then at the end of the tunnel is excitement. And this is usually the same course that you see when you do something new, like becoming a parent or taking on something that you've never done before. And at every stage of those cycles, I see how being a reflection of God can make it much easier, right? So when we pray, we usually pray about our challenges. And when people are anxious and they're coming to you as a designer, usually you're facilitating all these conversations around how to execute building the product, right? So when they come to you with anxiety, what do? You listen. When they are confused, usually they already have the answers. I feel like God gives us lessons in our lives because he wants to extract out the answers that we need for ourselves, right? And when we're designing products and working with the team, and all of them have the answers, is just facilitating those conversations, bringing the right people together, and you extract out those answers, right? You question. You got to be a reflection of God in those moments. And then when people are frustrated, whether it's a user that's frustrated, whether it's a person on your team that's frustrated, you want to understand what's causing them to feel that way, right? And then usually that leads to better answers, leads to better solutions, leads to better products, right? And then when you put that product out to the world, it's like your baby. It's like you just birthed a child, and you celebrate with your team. And God in the universe always wants to see us win, right? So when I had my child with my wife, after all that frustration, after all those sleepless nights, we could lay in the bed where I'm at. I'm in my bedroom right now, and we look at each other, we look at our baby, and we could look back on those moments and see that it was all worth it. At every stage of building the product, or in life, when you do something new, I see that being a reflection of God, becoming a better human being, and that pursuit of being the best that you can be every day is something that I really love. And the icing on the cake for me has been the fact that I could financially put myself and my family in a position that I never thought that we could be in. I've been offered jobs in Colombia, I've been offered jobs in Europe, and I just feel like since technology is not based in one specific location like it was just last year, like everything was in San Francisco. Now everything's across the world, right? I could move to Mexico, I could move to Hawaii and get a job being a designer if I wanted to. I don't take that for granted at all. I just feel like design has given so much to me in so many different aspects of my life, whether it's my financial well-being, my spiritual well-being, to be able to be a provider and a leader for my family. It feels really happy because I didn't see that with many men in my life. The great part about being a designer is that we don't have to have the answers. We don't have to be correct all the time. This is not like heart surgery where if you cut off the wrong valve, somebody's gonna die. Like, I don't have that pressure, right? Every day we're interviewing folks, we're figuring out things together, and we're just trying to understand the answers on the fly, right? As we work every day. So we can experiment as much as we want, to get to our end goal. And I feel like in life, you got to take a risk. You got to experiment with what works, what doesn't work to meet your goals. So I just see how life by design, it all fits together. It makes my soul happy. It makes my heart happy. And I love what I do. So hopefully this video inspires you to go down this journey. And if you're a person of color, you know, I hope that you go down this journey, because I got to see more brothers and sisters out here in tech. Yeah, guys, I hope that this video inspires you. If it did, if it changed your mind a little bit, you already know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.